during abuse and enforcement during fiscal year 1985. Aggressive enforcement of federal law directed at the importation, manufacture, sale, and distribution of illegal drugs was made the top criminal justice priority. During the past year, the department has taken major steps to build upon the administration elders' efforts against illegal drug trafficking and abuse in each of these areas. Moreover, through efforts such as the Organized Crime and Drug Enforcement Task Force Program, special attention has been focused upon the involvement of organized crime in drug trafficking. The department has implemented a plan to train Federal Bureau of Investigation and Drug Enforcement Administration agent groups that have a related role in combating the drug problem. Together at Quantico, Virginia, substantial progress has also been made toward improving the level of state and federal cooperation in drug enforcement activities. This cooperation was manifested in Operation Delta 9, the first 50-state marijuana eradication program in the nation's history. During the past year, federal drug arrests increased about 20% and arrest of major traffickers 40%. The government seized record amounts of the traffickers' property and profits derived from the drug trade. And the Attorney General launched a personal effort to expand international cooperation in combating drug trafficking. In meeting with law enforcement officials from Spain, Great Britain, Italy, Switzerland, Austria, and Mexico, the Attorney General has also placed increased emphasis on addressing the demand side of the drug abuse problem. This involves an allowed effort to persuade people, especially young people, not to use drugs. Civil rights. During fiscal year 1985, the Civil Rights Division continued its vigorous enforcement of the civil rights law. The division gave high priority to racial violence cases, prosecuting Ku Klux Klan members in North Carolina, as well as a violent and neo-Nazi group known as the Aryan Nations Organization. The department has also been actively enforcing the Voting Rights Act, challenging as discriminatory against Hispanics. The redrawing of Los Angeles City Council districts. Also, the division obtained more than $5.1 million in back pay award to victims of discriminatory employment practices. The department has sought to ensure that government treats all citizens equally and without regard to race. Criminal procedure. The department continued to implement the reforms included in the Comprehensive Crime Control Act of 1984, the most far-reaching reform of federal criminal law in history. In addition to many other important changes in federal law, this legislation established the U.S. Sentencing Commission. Its 7 members were confirmed in October 1985. The commission will create sentencing guidelines to ensure equitable sentencing for similar groups of offenders. It will replace the US Federal Commission and remove the federal government from the federal process. Its first report to Congress is due to April 1987. Among the initiatives launched by Attorney General Mies during 1985 in the area of criminal procedure area, proposal to restore constitutional procedure for imposition of capital punishment for especially heinous federal crimes, a personal of modify habeas corpus procedure to give greater finally to state court criminal judgment, thereby reducing frivolous appeals, a plan to reform the exclusionary rule to allow use of certain types of probative evidence now suppressed, and revision of the Freedom of Information Act to protect sensitive information relating to terrorism and organized crime. These legislative initiatives reflect the Attorney General's firm belief that the criminal justice system needs to be reformed in ways that balance more equality the rights of the accused and the rights of society. Organized crime. Over the past year, the battle against organized crime has grown more intense with major trials in cities around the country, including Kansas City, Boston, Chicago, Hartford, New York, and especially New York City. Where figures from the so-called five families have been charged with a variety of violations of federal law. The department's ability to fight organized crime received a boost with the use of one of the recently enacted provisions of the administration's crime control package that allows prosecutors to impound the proceeds of illicit activities. Economic crime. During fiscal year 1985, the Department of Justice was aggressive in its pursuit of economic crime. Foremost among a number of significant cases was the one involving E.F. Newton. This case was a novel and massive prosecution representing the successful use of provision of the Comprehensive Crime Control Act. The fines imposed, some $2.5 million, recovered the cost of the prosecution. Moreover, the rapid resolution of the case added resolution of those who had been damaged by Newton's activities and sent a message to the corporate community that the department would move vigorously against such activities. Other economic cases featured stiff penalties or sentences or both. The Jack Butcher case resulted in a 20-year suspension team. General Electric pled guilty to charges of defrauding the Department of Defense, was fined $1.04 million, forced to pay 8 lakh dollars in restitution, and was temporarily suspended from doing business with the government. For General Electric, messenger were indicted. General Telephone and Electric pled guilty to conspiring to illegally obtain Pentagon budget documents, and company officials were charged individually. Former Department of Defense official Paul Thayer and Dallas stockbroker Billy Bob Harris and Billy Bob and Harris each received 4 years prison sentences for obstruction of justice in connection with an insider stock trading scheme. Fred Sudden drew a 35-year prison sentence for masterminding one of history's largest mastermind frauds.